I'm going to change a little bit from what you, with any hope you're not going to hear a lot from me, but more of that here in just a second. First, want to do a little free publicity announcement. I don't know how many of you have been keeping your ear to the ground, but there is a movement afoot with a national instruction here to be signed either this week. Actually, probably not this week because Joel's here and he's not able to chase people down in headquarters. So probably next week there will be a national instruction signed announcing an effort to complete provisional ecological sites in the lower 48 states by 2020. Very, very aggressive goal, but one that is, you know, if certain pieces fall into place, is doable. Very first step for this year, even though this year is already technically almost halfway gone, each of the 12 soil survey regions will be selecting 2 MLRAs to use as guinea pigs on this effort. And then there'll be some modifications starting in FY16. I would assume. I don't think we have the instructions down exactly right, but to roll forward for the remainder until 2020. So there's a very good chance that this will be happening in an MLRA near you, and hopefully be a chance to, some of you more than others, a chance to get involved in this. In a real small nutshell, this provisional effort is establishing a working copy of a state and transition model along with the simple capture of the important soil, physiographic, and climate features that constitute kind of a shell of an ecological site description, correlated to every Surgo component within the soil survey, again in the lower 48, providing pretty much to the degree that Surgo is complete, a seamless coverage of the identification of the ecological sites from coast to coast. Now, notice the term is provisional. That doesn't mean it's locked in stone, but it's a working legend. But at least we have that layer to work off of. The thing I'm most excited about. The thing I'm most excited about is going to the Jornada. The thing I'm second most excited about is part of this product will be there will be a working ecological site key for every MLRA. Now think about that just for a second. For those of you who have had the opportunity to work in MLRAs where there is an existing key, and maybe some where you don't have one, for a planner or for somebody new to an area, this is like a huge leg up in knowing what ecological sites you have to work with, is having this key. A simple dichotomous key, walking you through the ecological sites for that MLRA. Don't want it any broader than that. If you cover an area too broad than that, then the key is too cumbersome. There may be some MLRAs, granted, that will have to do it by, and will choose to do it by LRU, a subdivision of the MLRA. That's totally okay. That's why we have LRUs. But and initially, that's just the first cut, the first step in that dichotomous key. Really, then in the MLRA is, you separate into the individual LRUs, and then feed down from there. But to have this working, these working keys across the country, I am super excited for. In terms of ecological sites, that will be the biggest step up that we have done as an agency since the conversion of range sites and woodland suitability groups to ecological sites. The topic was soil interpretation, so I just pulled a couple of the steps out of the national instruction, at least the last I saw it, which means it's always subject to change. But step one is, starting right off the top is, since we're using the Surgo database as the standard, is to pull those soil attributes that are primary in delineating and defining the ecological sites, and pretty much prioritizing them and saying, okay, which ones, what's driving the identification of the ecological sites in this given MLRA? What's explaining the variability from that database? And there's a couple of steps dealing with quality control, quality assurance, and then almost next step. Of course, a lot of these steps are going to be being completed concurrently. But then you start on this hierarchical key, and I would imagine in most, these keys are not. It says based on the most important soil properties. That's not always the case. A lot of times it may be physiographic features, a lot of cases, or climate features. But soil will definitely be considered. But bottom line is you'll end up with here's just a snapshot of an example of a portion of a dichotomous key. This for MLRA 22, the Sierra Nevadas, just to the east of here. And this is the type of thing that we'll have across the whole country. Now, digressing a little bit, and for the good chunk of the remainder of the time, another administrative note and gratuitous advertisement. We have 6 within the ecological site effort. We have 6 regional ecological site specialists, one of which has been vacant for, some time. The one in Phoenix, Arizona, covering Region 8, which is Phoenix, and also covering Region 4, which is in Bozeman, Montana. That is now open. So check USA Jobs if you're interested in possibly working in that area, going from Mexico to Canada, and basically the Southwest deserts and the Rocky Mountains. So pretty cool region. The 12th. So as soon as we're done with the stock, you can leave and go fill out your but as with a lot of our jobs, that it's been vacant for a little while. So I've tried to kind of help out where I could, like we often do. And so I've been sitting in on a number of Region 4 has regular teleconferences where they talk about ecological sites with the state specialists, the ecological site specialists, some of the project leaders, soil scientists. I'm not sure who all's invited in there. But the other day, I was listening to one, and Dean Stacy, who is an ecological site specialist in Price, Utah, gave a demonstration of a tool that he has helped come up with to, initially this is going to be a tool like what he has come up with is really what we're looking at to make this first cut on these MLRAs, to start digging into the Surgo, into the soils database, dig into the other databases that are used to define and delineate an ecological site, PRISM on the climate end. And I don't know how many of you have been in attendance here at the conference all week, But at the plenary session on Monday, Temple Grandin, animal science professor at Colorado State, was the lead-off speaker. And she stressed the point how a lot of problems, particularly in bureaucracies, are we try to solve them top down. Well, the position that I've been in since 2001 has been kind of, and I don't believe that. To me, I think problems are best solved bottom up, because that's, I guess, where my experience comes from. Is the time when I've been in those positions and solving problems. But for the last 14, 15 years, I've been trying to bounce in between that, getting directions coming from the top down, but then looking to the bottom up, saying, okay, how are we going to implement this and make it happen on the ground? And so I always like, when I get the chance to let those who are dealing with it firsthand tell their story and the things that they have come up with and the ways that they have problem solved. And so I would like to turn as much time as he needs over to Dean Stacy to demonstrate to y'all, because I really found it interesting what he showed to us here a month or so ago, and I think you will as well, particularly if you're interested at all in the front end of developing ESDs.